What's up, guys? Welcome to your 136th Android tutorial for the new Boston. We're still going to be working with our Google Maps activity. What we're going to do in this tutorial is we're going to relate to where we touch on the screen and create a GeoPoint out of that location. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a couple ints up here called X and Y. Alright, so basically this is going to be our X position and our Y position on our overlay when we touch the screen. And now we're going to create a GeoPoint out of those locations, but first we have to relate these points to our touch method. So let's go down to our touchy class that extends the overlay. And when we hit the motion event down, that's when we're going to set up our variables. And so what we're going to do is we're going to say X is equal to, and then just our event, which we called e.getX. And that's going to return a float, but we'll get to that in a second. Also, y is going to be e.getY. And both those are returning floats, and again, this is an integer, so we're just going to cast in as an integer where we're going to be like, hey, you're going to make this work, don't tell anybody, and we're cool. So there we go. We have our both X and Y based off our touch event. Now what we're going to do is create a GeoPoint based off of this X and Y location, because again, this is just kind of where it is, and now we need to relate that to the longitude and latitude, which the GeoPoint which we use to build the GeoPoint. So how we do that is we're going to create a GeoPoint, and we're going to call this touched point, something like that. We're going to set this equal to our map view. Then we're going to say dot get projections, or get projection, and basically what's doing is it's relating our touch event of our overlay to our actual map activity, or actual map, according to how far it's zoomed in, how we're like scaling and all that stuff. So we're actually getting the projection of our map, and then what we're going to say is from pixels, because again we're working with the pixels, and this is going to be our X, and this is going to be your Y. So now we have a GeoPoint that's related to our touch, where we touch on our screen. Pretty simple concept. Again, all we're doing with this projection is relating our map to our actual touch on our overlay. So now what we can do is we can set up something called a geocoder, and we're going to do that within this get address button, because we're going to basically display the address. So we're going to set up a geocoder. And also we might want to set this touch point before we actually get into the geocoder down here. We need to set this touch point up, or this GeoPoint I should say, so our whole class can use it. So I'm just going to copy that and then delete the type there and paste it above as well. So now we can use our touch point within some of these other methods. And now we're going to set up something called a geocoder that's going to allow us to kind of access the address and all that good stuff. So we're going to say geocoder, and we're just going to call it geocoder or something like that. We're going to set this equal to new geocoder, and within the parameters we're going to say get base context. That's going to return the context of the base class, and then we're going to say locale dot get default, and we have to import both locale and our geocoder, which I've already done. And now we've set up our geocoder, and what we can do now is within a try bracket we can try and access the address and all that good stuff. So what we're going to say is try, and then within the try brackets, and that's probably all we have time for in this tutorial. But again, just to quickly talk over some stuff, this geocoder, what that's going to allow us to do is basically refer to some map data and give us some more information about, specifically our location, like what street we're on, what the address is. So that's what we need the geocoder for. And the next tutorial we'll kind of set up what we're going to do within this try bracket. We'll also add a catch clause and get everything going. But again, that's what the geocoder is, and we also set up basically a GeoPoint according to the map, how far we're scaled in, and where we touched on the map. So that's pretty much it for this tutorial, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Peace.